Well, one of the parts of your journey in life is to find a home. Find a place that you're going to call your own in a neighborhood that you're going to spend most of your time. And this creates a lifestyle or a quality of life. Your home, your residence, is a major part of your experience here on this earth. And the first phase or the first step in finding a home is usually associated with being around family and friends. Because by default, you grow up by family and friends, and the natural rhythm, without giving it too much thought, is let me just buy a home close to my family and close to my friends, and you build your own life. And as time goes on, you may realize, well, why did I build a home in this place? Do I really like living here? Or did I just kind of follow that natural rhythm of being close to people? And what you'll realize is a lot of those people, your family and your friends, they will change. You will have some family who will pass away. You will have friends that you grow apart from. And that's how people get caught in this midlife crisis, which I experienced at a certain level. I wouldn't classify it as a crisis, but I would classify it as a middle age refocus where, you say to yourself, it's my opportunity midway through my life to figure out where I want to live and where I want to build a home. Keeping up with Bree. Hey, keeping up with Bree on the members chat. Currently at work, securing a money bag. Love you. Well, reciprocal love right back to you. What I can tell you is that no matter where you live, no matter where you build a home, you need money, okay? Because homes cost money. And one of the metrics that you should look at when finding a home is the economic opportunities. Okay, you want to know that there are jobs within a 30-mile or 60-mile max radius of where you're going to buy a home. Because unless you're on a finalized fixed income in retirement or some other means, you don't want to be in an area that even if it's cheap to obtain, it's not easy to get money. Hospitals always have jobs. Of course, there's any industry. There is technology companies. There's Amazon. There, Amazon warehouses. Look, you go into neighborhoods and you look at the grocery stores. You look at the environment, and you figure out, what are these people doing for a living? Am I in that realm? Every town, every city, every state, they're always looking for people in the trades. Every house needs a renovation, plumber, electrician, carpenter, etc. Every house needs a cleaner, house cleaner. Every hospital needs a nurse, a doctor, administrative assistant, maintenance tech, a security guard. Every restaurant needs a delivery person. Every place that there's cars, you need car mechanics. Opportunities are not just one big thing that you're going to find. They're all around us. So, remember that. Love to you, Andre. Good to see you, man. Shout out to New Jersey. Hope you're doing well after your second shot, man. Keep pushing forward. Try to stay positive. I know life could be a little bit negative. Overall, I had a positive day. The one negative part of my day is I was on a 3-lane highway, and a school bus had pulled over on this major highway, and they put like their stop sign. And the time I noticed they were pulling over to drop off kids like on a major highway, I was in the left lane, but I couldn't slow down quick enough. So it's like I felt bad that I passed it because I know they were stopping, but you have to stop for a school bus. But it was weird. Never saw a school bus make a full stop on a major highway. So I have to be more conscious of that. I don't believe there's any cameras or anything. I didn't blow it off on purpose. But I always say to myself, damn, here I am. I always try to, I was driving the speed limit. I mind my business. I wasn't in their lane. But it's like, man, you got to really be careful driving. If you say inspirational nomad, 4 years on the road with no home, living on the road, what's the number one thing that you need to be careful of? It's driving more. Accidents and driving is dangerous. It's fun, it can be adventurous, but driving is dangerous. Driving is dangerous. And I want to drive a little bit less. I still do like driving, But I don't like being on the road. I mean, Florida is obviously too. I don't know. I mean, I try to be in a cup, but Florida definitely has higher car insurance than most because it's very dangerous to drive. But everywhere I've driven up and down the East Coast, you got to be careful. You can never assume. Mary Toss, great to see you. Hello to you. Love to you. Good to see you, Mary Toss. Try to stay positive as best you can. Andre, love it. Just got a raise on the union, Sam. Well, there you go, brother. Shout out to you. Shout out to Suitcase. I see him in here. Both of you are union workers. And like I said, I left the union after a period of time, but without the union, I wouldn't have built my career, especially so young. They gave schooling, they gave opportunity. And even though at times it was hard work, it was, the time to do that, time to build your careers in your 20s, 30s, and then, 40s and 50s, you want to try to pivot and obviously still have to work, but you want to try to live where you want. To me, as part of working remote, or if you're a journeyman in a trade, you can travel. I think that's what Suitcase is doing. So, look, we're just trying to make the most of our life, right? Some people have a house they buy, some people rent, some people nomad. You can say home is where the heart is. You can say home is where you're inspired. Is my home this hotel? No, not permanent. This is a bridge. I don't know where I'll go next. I looked at a couple places late this afternoon. One mobile home lot by the beach, which I like the size of it, and I like the fact that if it blew away in a hurricane, I can make it an RV lot. I think it's 30% overpriced, but it was around 130,000. So look, guys, I mean, I'm looking at every house, mobile home, or RV I look at is 150 and under. Why? Because I want to live below my means. And even that, I really, you get to a point in life where I don't really want to spend anything, But I know that the answer, I know, look, you do nothing if you don't have to do nothing, but, you also want to be conscious to be mindful of everything, Great to see you, Suitcase. Stay positive, man. Love to you. I see you do videos about, I don't know what's going on with the, I saw different people in my subscription feed talk about it, but I don't know anything about it, about Stephen A. Smith and Kwame Brown. Didn't Kwame Brown play for the Wizards? But I guess they're involved with some controversy. But like I said, I really don't watch any news. So I don't know what it's about, but I saw you did a couple videos about it. Mary Toss at Andre, congrats. Yeah, I agree. Congrats, Andre. Andre, feeling good with the second vaccine. Good for you, man. Yeah, I got the second vaccine as well, like I've shared. Many on this channel have. I believe Bree has. People in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and I think we have some members in their 60s that got the vaccine. And overall, it's been a positive experience for most people I've spoken to. So love to you. Timothy. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you, Timothy. How have you been, man? Hope you're doing well. Same thing. Try to stay positive. I know it's not easy. Try to keep showing up, but yeah, each day, some days are very positive, some days are mixed, some days are very negative. There was a moment today where I was like, man, today's a positive day. Yesterday was a negative. And then I had one negative thing happen. I was like, ah. But overall, it's a positive day, Suitcase. Got about 3 more weeks. Okay. Then I'm going to start checking the books. Okay, yeah, he's talking about for the union for available work. I just might hit Jersey. I can understand that. There's a lot of work up there. Usually there is. That's where a lot of people, I worked with a lot of travelers that came to New Jersey. You're from Philly, right? I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong. But I worked with a lot of travelers when I worked in the union in New Jersey. I remember, again, one guy from South Dakota. I said, man, South Dakota? I said, what goes on over there? He goes, nothing. That's why I'm here. So, that's true. He goes, just might hit Jersey. Jersey was popping when they were building the casinos in Atlantic City. And of course, up north, there's always like industrial plants. And, is New Jersey busy now? I guess so. I mean, Andre would testify. I haven't been up there as far as working in the union in a long time. I just might hit Jersey. He goes, y'all got to be up to about $60 an hour. They may be. The IBEW may be close to that. I think when I topped out, it was between 30 and maybe it was up to 40. It was in the 30s. Maybe it was up to $40 an hour. But again, that $40 an hour, that $60 an hour as a union electrician, most people do not work 12 months out of the year. So most people probably work, I would say 7 to 8 on average. So that $40 an hour is really more like $30 an hour. Now the thing with the union though is you build up the pension credit. You get the annuity, you get the great health care, and some people do go on good, what we would call a good run. They get a few years of consecutive work, or they get hooked up with a shop. So it's not impossible, especially the diligent worker. Obviously, your odds increase, but you have to be mindful of that part of the union gig. So what do you do if you're not in a union? Well, look, like I say, you find a nice area you want to live. You become a maintenance tech in a hospital, and you find a home in that area that's below your salary means, and you make that place your home. And if you don't want a home, then you stay on the road. You live in a van, a hotel, a car, like you're doing, or whatever you want, and you make it work. Again, if you're single with no kids, you got a lot of options. And if you have a family, it's the same premise. You find an area where you can find an income, and if you were doing something, try to find something in that relative career. Someone asked me the other day, like, what jobs are available in Florida? I said, well, it all depends on what industry you're working in, right? So, if you're working in healthcare, right, then you're going to have healthcare jobs. It all depends on your credentials, your work experience. If you have no work experience, if you're just starting in the workforce, then it's just like any other place, right? You want to find the areas within Florida that have industry that you may consider. So finding a home is about, do you want to just be by family and friends, or does that not matter to you as much? Weather is a big part of finding a home. Again, I always tell you, you can filter location by, do you want to be in the mountains, or do you want to be by the beach, or do you not care? If you want to be by the beach, you've already filtered out many states. If you want to be in the mountains, you've already filtered out many states. And if you don't care, then, so you start with that. You start with eliminating what you don't want. And you try to find an area you want to live, and then you try to find a way to make an income there. And then, you build your life. Andre, Mary Toss, thanks. Andre, more than $40. That's awesome. More than $40 an hour, Andre? Awesome, man. That's great. Suitcase? Yeah, bro. Kwame got my views and subscribers up. And by the way, I'm originally from Tennessee. Oh, shout out to Tennessee. A Journey from Jordan's also from Tennessee. He's a member. You're glad you left. Yeah. Look, I've never been to Tennessee, number one. The people I've met online from there seem to be relatively positive. I guess it's a country thing, though, because it's not, as far as the vibe, because it's not by the ocean. It's a country land for the most part. But like I said, the people I've met there, there's good and bad people everywhere. But for the most part, the vibe has been positive. People show love and respect. I show it back. So. I don't know. I guess it's hit or miss. But yeah, for me, could I ever live in Tennessee? Well, no. Why? Just simply because there's no beach, and I don't think I would like the vibe. It'd be a little bit too country, and that's not disrespect, but that's just who I am. I don't like to be in the heart of the city anymore, but I like to be by a level of amenities and things like that. So, but this is part of our journey. We don't we don't choose where we're born, and I've been blessed to kind of be born where I was at. I was born in an overall, area that had opportunity and stuff and was peaceful. So, yeah, he says Tennessee is broke as F. Yeah, look, I think the states with the highest poverty are Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, New Mexico. I remember when I did a search; those were like top 5, something like that. So yeah, look, guys, when you're looking for a home, you want to look at the poverty rates in that area. So if there's high poverty, there's not a lot of money circulating. Obviously, you can't really move into an elite area because the money is kind of like not circulating. People just, parking their money there. You want to find a strong middle class with upward mobility, and surrounded by nicer areas, because the lower the crime rate, that means the more economic opportunity. The higher the crime rate means the less economic opportunity. There's more desperate people, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So, you want to kind of find a place that's comfortable, man. I've been in all types of areas: poor, rich, dangerous, and very safe. Ocean, and I've been in the country land. And as an adult, I say to myself, why do I want to willingly put myself in a bad environment just for the sake of it as an adult? When you're a child, it all depends. You got friends in certain areas, you got family in certain areas. You need to experience certain things. But the thing about being an adult, right, is you're not in your parents' house anymore. You're in whatever house you're building for yourself. You're finding your own home, And yes, you may need your parents' help. Yes, you need other people's help. Again, I always say that even the strongest and the smartest of us, we still need help. We still need grace. But obviously, we all still need to do our part. So, I don't know. Do we ever find a home? Again, like to me, I ask guys, just take me home, man. This earth is not my home. But look, we got to figure out what makes our life vibe. While we're here, make the most of our life, most of our time, and try to build a quality of life to make it worth it. Andre. And yes, Jersey is pretty busy with construction. Yeah, here you see construction everywhere. Yeah, I mean, in most areas, again, very interesting that the coronavirus actually caused an economic boom because of artificially low interest rates, right? Like, I wish during the housing crisis they lowered the interest rates that quick and they pumped stimulus out that quick. I would have never had negative equity for several years, right? And I think the government learned from that, and that's why the government acted so quick. And so you got the low interest rates, you got the stimulus, and you got the lack of a supply chain, a shortage of materials, an increase in demand, and you have this inflated, vibrant economy that is kind of unbalanced. But at the same time, it's better than a recession, right? Because who really wins in a recession? Sure, there's a few people who win, but certainly you don't want the masses to lose. Why? Because I don't believe you're ever going to have a healthy society if most people are hurting. It's just, even if you're winning, I mean, what kind of society is that? You still want there to be a level of balance, and you still want there to be mitigated destitution. You can never eliminate destitution because you're always going to have the mentally ill, people addicted to drugs, etc. And you want to have programs, but there's only so much you can do. Also, I've seen it both. So that's an answer that I've often reflected on that part in the Bible where Jesus says, "The poor will always be among you." I kind of struggled with accepting that. And I don't think we should just accept it without looking at seeing like what we have done as humanity is where we have evolved, right? I mean, there wasn't Social Security when Jesus was walking. There wasn't Medicaid. There wasn't EBT cards. There wasn't stimulus. There wasn't low interest rates. There was farmers, slaves, beggars, and preachers and government officials. That was pretty much the economy of Jesus's time. And as we've evolved, only really within the Industrial Revolutionary, these past 100 years or so, and now we're in a technology era, have governments created currencies, being able to adjust the interest rates, been able to print money to create, even as much as there's bad. If you look at society in 2021, the masses, if they had a choice to select between 2021 and 1621, I think just about a very high majority would pick I'd rather be born in 2021. And that, it's good to once in a while when we're getting negative towards society, think about that, because sometimes I give up on humanity, and I give up on and look, I'm still not really too impressed with Earth, even though I'm very fortunate. But I think about that. I said, Sam, what if you were born 300 years ago? What would you feel? So be thankful. And humans can change, right? And there are probably more good people than bad, because if there were more bad people than good, would humanity really be in a better place than compared to 1,000 years ago? No. So in actuality, even though you meet bad people along your journey, and it's very hard to accept that, and bad things happen to you unfairly, very hard to accept that, you also look at humanity and say, well, they have improved the conditions for most humans. So, it's an interesting dynamic, Suitcase. Yeah, Tennessee is broke. Yeah, statistically, there's a lot of truth in that. Suitcase. My manners again. Hey, everyone. Oh, it's all love. Love to you, Suitcase. Mary Toss. There's a lot of construction in Cali, too, yeah. But you have to have lots of money to live. Yeah, thank you, Mary Toss. Yeah, that's kind of the motto there, that one is, well, California will always have a level of desirability. Why? Because of the weather. Weather determines a big factor in people moving. So California will probably always be on the higher end of affordability because of the weather. You say, well, Florida has nice weather. Yeah, but Florida's weather is a little bit more extreme, and not too many people can handle that. Um, California's weather, even though it can get hot and even though there's wildfires, there's a lot more mildness to it, less humidity. And a lot of people like that mix of ocean and mountains. And you have a very vibrant technology industry, which has very much grown that area, Silicon Valley. Even though that's changed, in the past several years, it's not as big a deal as it used to be. It's still a major area. And on both coasts, there's always those import export areas, those migration areas, right? So, where you have that commerce, those global interconnection points, and California is one to the western hemisphere of the earth, Asia, etc. You're always going to have a higher concentration of money on the coast because they're import export areas, they're migration areas, because people travel from different hemispheres of the earth, and they're connection points, that kind of like connect us to humanity, so you know, the middle of the country, like to Suitcase's point, like Tennessee and things like that, even though it's all love and respect to them and everything else, and there's opportunity to there's a little bit less than coastal areas. Why? Just again, simply just because of the numbers. When people migrate, they come from overseas. People tend to concentrate where they come, and the coastal areas tend to be built up because again, there's money flowing in as import export. And then people settle, people build up areas, and the weather is suitable. Inland, uh, depending on the area, with the winds, desert area, unfertile ground, etc. There may not be enough opportunity for you to build a home unless So you have to have enough opportunity that it makes it feasible to settle. And the reason most people settle in concentrated areas is because opportunity pretty much equals commerce, exchanging goods, exchanging services. And if you live in a rural area, even though it may be pretty and you may prefer that, and there's nothing wrong with that, there's not a lot of transactions because there's just not a lot of people. And so that means there's not going to be a lot of building. Even though, you could say everywhere right now there's a level of building, obviously there's more than others. So, that kind of breaks down, how people settle and how homes are formed. And again, how I started off, once you're born into an area, very rarely do people leave that area, especially young. So, most people, I would say, are born in a town or state or city, and they grow up, and even if they travel a little bit, they tend to stay around the area they were born and have a family of their own, build a house of their own, and that's their life. And that cycle is repeated through generations. Certainly, there are family members who break that generation cycle, but I would say the higher percentage of people find their home and build their home within close proximity to where they were brought up. There's a level of familiarity there, and certainly when you have your own children, you need support of family many times. So these are my thoughts as a 40-year-old man, and I'm looking to find my own home. One of the reasons I was a little bit hesitant on that condo I missed out about a month or so ago was I said, man, once I pull the trigger on buying a home, I'm pretty much kind of guaranteeing I won't be around my mom, or I'm kind of separating from the life I knew. And that's a little bit shocking to make that permanent. There's something in my mind that does still like being able to not be attached to any area, for one of the reasons because my mom's still alive, because I don't never know what's going to happen with that. I think if that wasn't the case, there's probably really nothing holding me back from putting down roots. There is something to be said about the nomadic life. Like I said, I still enjoy, whether I want to stay in a hotel or want to stay in my car, travel with the seasons, and because I've still been thinking about going north. I still enjoy that liberty that a nomad has, that lack of attachment, and that's why I've been slow to give it up because I don't have to rush. Um, but like I've said, what I've learned about the nomad life, when you have no permanent home, that pretty much summarizes what it means to be a nomad. However you travel, whether in your car, RV, or hotel, you don't have a permanent home. And there's a lot of positive. The one negative is as you travel, you realize that even though it's exciting to see new things on a regular basis, most things don't inspire you. There's a few places that inspire you, and then after a certain point on the road, you say to myself, why am I forcing myself to see the majority of things I don't like when I know where the things I like are? And that's what kind of makes people build a home. It's like it's a waste of energy to just travel for the sake of traveling once you've seen what you wanted to see. It's good to still keep adventure, though. It's good to still have flexibility. It's always wisdom to live below your means. But this is the thought process of building a life, building a home, and why people do it. Um, and I've lived this unique experience now, where I was brought up in a house. I spent time in a lot of different environments. I've traveled up and down the entire East Coast several times, and you know, again, technically, I've been homeless, even though I've never been destitute. And I said to myself, what does it mean to find a home? Yeah. And this is what it means. It means that, I guess it means you're going to decide, are you going to be close to family or are you going to not be? I guess it means that you have to find out what type of weather do you like to spend most of your time in. I guess it means you have to be able to support yourself economically, so there has to be enough economic opportunity. Again, I stayed in New Jersey in my car for 2 years until I can get the remote transfer. Um, I guess it means that, you have to like the culture. You have to like the energy, right? So, you have to like all these things. Lisa Wanderess from Australia. Shout out to the Big A. 3.99. Oh, that's a hair bun wrap with a pair of sunglasses. I like that super sticker. Thank you, Lisa. Shout out to Australia. Australia flag emoji to you. Love and respect. I've met a great couple of viewers from Australia. And I guess there is a vibe, Australia's got a very tropical climate too, and there is a RV culture over there. Lisa, I was watching, when I first started watching YouTube about traveling to Florida, there was this, I don't know if you've seen it, there was this guy, he was an Australian guy, and he met this girl from California, no, from Florida, and they got married and had a kid, and his first year of videos were all traveling around Florida in an RV. I forgot his name. It was like Stuart and Crew or Stu Crew, something like that. But he was from Australia. He had the Australia accent. But shout out to you, Lisa. Shout out to my other viewer, Giuliano, and shout out to who's my girl that used to live in Brazil, and she's got a son now. She's in Australia. Forgive me for forgetting the name, but obviously, I remember the story. So shout out to everyone in Australia, man. Good vibes to you. Peace and love. What time is it in Australia? It's always interesting, people all around everyone's on a different time zone, Australia time. So right now in Australia, it's 11:30 a.m. It's Friday. So they're a day ahead of us. Just like probably most places in Asia too, right? So, right now in Australia, it's Friday. They're a day ahead. It's 11:30 in the afternoon. It's lunchtime. Here in America, at least in Florida, because America has different time zones, Eastern, Western, Central. Here in America, on the Eastern Standard Time Zone in South Florida, it's currently 9:30 p.m. in the evening, and it's still Thursday. So we're a day behind. So you have to remember that, guys. One thing about the technology industry is we're connecting with people we once would never talk connected with, from different states, from different countries, different time zones, different backgrounds. And the best part about a virtual relationship is you're not attached, but you can connect, you can share, and you can get something from it, and then you can leave it, and you can do that all within milliseconds, and that's an amazing thing. Thank you, Lisa. Twister, what's up, man? What's up, Sam? Yeah, I would say it was a 80% positive day or 90% positive, only 10% negative. So I'm thankful for that. How was your day, man? Great to see you, Twister. I appreciate your positive attitude, man. You're a positive person. Try to surround yourself with as many positive people as possible. Why? Because I don't know why. One thing that upsets me, but I have to keep letting it go, is no matter how much you try, there's always some negativity in life. And I struggle with that sometimes, and it makes me curse God because I say, man, I try to mind my business, stay out of, and there still ends up being some negativity. But I have to remind myself, Sam, let it go. You know, if the majority of things are positive or whatever, just be thankful. It's a tough one, you know. Suitcase. When I was in Jersey a few years ago, I camped at the Walmart across the street from the airport in Teterboro. Okay. Familiar? Well, I'm more familiar with the Newark Airport and Atlantic City Airport. Teterboro is a smaller airport. I'm familiar with the area, but not that Walmart specifically. Also found some great soul food in Hackensack. Yeah, shout out to Hackensack. Shout out to Paulie's. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with Paulie's. Hackensack, I didn't spend too much time in Hackensack, so but I'm familiar with the areas. So, yeah, obviously, look, the more North Jersey you are, the closer to New York City, the more diversity. Why? Because again, New York is a melting pot. People migrated from all over the world, and you had people from all over the country because it was a huge economic hub financially for many, many years, and I guess it still is. And that was the one thing when I spent. I grew up in New Jersey, but then as I got older, I spent some time in Manhattan for a couple of years, and what I found, the energy there and the diversity is unmatched. Now is it different after COVID? I'm sure it is. Everything's different. Life is different. But when 9/11 happened, I was working in North Jersey. Where was I at? I think I was in I don't know. I was right by Newark, but I wasn't in Newark. I was working a job site at a pharmaceutical plant, not Merck, Novartis, I think it was, and we were on the top of the roof, and we had saw like smoke, but we didn't really know what was going on. Then we went on our morning lunch break, and that's when the guys in the maintenance room were watching the news, and the planes had hit, and and so but life goes on. That's what 20 years ago. It's 2021, so we're getting old, man. Twisted. That's good to hear. Yes, my day was really well. Awesome. I stayed productive. That's great all day. Now it's time to chill with you. Well, it's great to have you, man. I am grateful for you guys and girls that watch, for all my members, and there's a platform for me to vent a little bit, and everything has a pros and cons. Being a YouTuber has pros and cons. I've shared that with you. But I like being a loner, so I mean, for me, I'd rather the pros and cons of that at this point than the pros and cons of coming home to someone or something. I think for the rest of the life, I'll never want to come home to someone. I'll never even want to come home to a pet again. I really love my dog. I'm really thankful I have my dog. I'm devastated when my dog died. But I don't think I'd ever have the capacity to raise another dog, and I can never go through that whole process again. And I think at this point, as a 40-year-old man, I have no desire even for companionship, because what I learned with companionship is, yeah, I mean, you don't have to get married. You could just but it's an entanglement. There's no way around it. And I just want to, I want to be there for my mom if she needs me as she gets older here. And that's it, man. I'll probably, spend most of my life alone, which I'm happy with. And if I ever find a home and I buy in a community, like there's one person today that I met, and they saw, I went to look at this like mobile home lot by the beach, and it had a small mobile home on it, and I'd walked by that community many times, and because I've been looking at a couple areas for a couple years, and he was like, "Yeah, I've seen you here before. Don't you already own property here?" I said, "No." I said, "I rented here before, but I never owned, and I just walk around the community." And he goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Yeah, I've seen you." So it's amazing. Like, people see you, they know you, and even when you don't see them, everyone's always watching. But it's like that's what I know, because I was part of HOA for whatever 15 years, and when you walk around and people look out their windows or they drive their cars and they see you, it's like that becomes like your family or people that know you. You can. Look. I still stay to myself. I'm the type of person. Again, I try not to bother people. Don't bother me. I want peace. That's how I am. If there's an emergency, I'm not going to watch someone be hurt or do something crazy. But So, there's some communities that are pretty chill. Like this one community, I said, man, I could see myself making a home here because I like the people, I like the energy, it's pretty chill. But the area's not a bad area, but there's a little bit better area that I like. But the better area, the people are a little bit more stuffy. You know what I mean? And like you could feel the energy difference. Like I could vibe with anything. I could vibe with it. I'm because I'll just mind my business. But that makes me think. There's nothing perfect. You're always going to have that trade-off when you're looking for a home, or you're looking for a place to settle down, or you're looking for a place to camp. The good thing about the nomad life, camping, whether you do stealth or campgrounds or whatever, is you're not committed, and you know it. And you're there for a one night stand, one night stealth park or a one night camping thing, and then you leave and you move on with your life, and that's one part of the nomad life that's tough for me to give up, and that's why I've really been slow to even think about giving it up. And maybe I'll never give it up. Is there a chance that I'll be a nomad till the day I die? Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. Obviously, the probability has gotten less, but we'll see. We'll see. 65 people watching, 24 thumbs up. If you haven't already, click the thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you're watching a replay, if you're a member, leave a comment. Thank you, love to you, appreciation. Twisted. He says, yes, Sam. Being a loner has done wonders for me. Self-care to the max. Yeah. Yeah. The less time you have to take care of other people, the more time you can spend taking care of yourself. And that's true. And you still have to discipline yourself because human nature, we're all lazy. So if you're not conscious, you could certainly just spend more time taking naps or relaxing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but obviously too much of that is not a good thing. And he goes, and really just focus on what matters in life. Yep. No drama. 100 emoji. No BS. 2,000 emoji. Thank you for opening me up to the idea. Yeah. I really appreciate prayer emoji. Well, reciprocal appreciation and respect back to you. So thank you, Twister. I made a collage of pictures that motivate me a few days ago and put in front of the face, my brother. Yeah, look, it's good to have a visual example of where you want to go. It's like, when you put together, when you assemble furniture or you assemble something, I tend to look at the box picture for my main guidance, even though I read the instructions, but I don't like to. And now, as a nomad, what I really like to be about being a nomad these past 4 years, I haven't assembled anything. And I don't think I really ever want to assemble anything. If you say inspirational nomad, what's your ideal situation for a home base or finding a home? Well, if I do decide to go that route, it's a small little cottage that's fully furnished, everything's brand new, and I just use it for 20 years or 30 years and I die. Or I buy an RV. RVs come with furniture. I use that. When it dies, I roll it in, trade it in for a few grand, get a new one. And I'd probably have to do that about 3 times. If the average RV lasts about 10 years, because they're basically like a car, if I got a $15,000 travel trailer every 10 years, that's what, $45,000. In 30 years, I'll be 70. Will I still be? I'll probably have to do 4 of them. The average life expectancy is 80. So, and then when I got to 80, I'd have to see where I'm at. But so, I don't know. Twisted. I've been looking at it every morning. It's better fuel than caffeine. Well, I don't know about that. Caffeine's a drug, that's fair, but yeah, it's not that bad of a drug. Come on, guys. And so in the morning, man, I'm not in the right state of mind until I have my Starbucks. It's true, man. I don't know. It is addictive, and I know some people hate on it. And what I could tell you is this: I don't care. When they say you live like a king, or they basically say you eat like a king, eating what you want and drinking what you want, to me, that's part of the best quality of life. Part of being a nomad is you have maybe less expenses on housing. You can indulge more on eating out. And to me, that's what makes a high quality life. Now, yes, can you discipline yourself and eat out of a can? Can you pour hot water over cheap ass Dollar Tree coffee beans? Yeah, guys. I mean, you can do a lot of things in life. But what I could tell you is, I got some hater This guy hates on it when my videos do good, and I'm drinking Starbucks and I'm in this air conditioning and I'm in my. He says, "Damn, I wish his videos wouldn't be keep doing so good and the subscriber going." I keep sipping on my Starbucks, and I say, "Look, man, I totally empathize that you have a mental disability and you wish that you were still in my inner circle, but you're not. I'll still respond from time to time, just to let you know you will be blocked again." But all I can tell you is eat your heart out, man, because I'm drinking Starbucks. I'm drinking Starbucks until I'd be dead broke. And what I could tell you is this: I pray I'm never dead broke. But pretty much I've lived a dead broke lifestyle other than my Starbucks for the past 4 years. So, in my opinion, you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Um, and you can't have guilt from that. I remember when I first started in the union electrician, I felt a little bit guilty. I was like, man, and a lot of my other friends were not at that point, and I tried to get some of my friends jobs. I always felt, but then I also realized as I got mature, you can't change people. You give them opportunity, but that doesn't even change them. And then, I got involved with the church because I said, well, maybe I need to form a new support system, new friends, not abandoning my old friends, but getting a more positive group around you, a more different group focused on different things. And, what I found in life is that you're not responsible for everything. Obviously, you're responsible for some things, and you should try to make um, those around you better. You should try to use your talents. Um, and you should be grateful for what you have. But you should also enjoy what you have because you're certainly not taking anything with you. And if you don't have kids, if you don't have responsibility, when I had a dog, I'd spend, I don't know, $400 a month on dog treats and different related items, and I loved it. There was a season of my life I loved it. I don't believe that you should get in a relationship and be cheap. I don't believe that you should have a pet and be cheap. If you do, I think just don't have. Um, so that's my opinion. hmm Thank you, Twista. Twista says the cottage sounds like a dream. Yeah, it could be a dream. Dating a beautiful hot MILF sounds like a dream, but that turns into a nightmare pretty quick. So I will never forget this chick told me. She goes, Sam, you don't like a relationship. You like the idea of a relationship. I think about it every time I think I like something. And so a cottage could seem like a dream, but could it turn into a nightmare? Well, I always think about that. I say if I buy this small cottage on the beach and a hurricane, let's say the biggest hurricane in 50 years hits Florida and that thing blows out, how would I feel? Well, that's why I'm looking at these mobile home lots or RV lots because if it blows away, I just use the lot for my RV and get an RV, or just get the RV lot and when the hurricane comes, move the RV, mitigate my risk. And a condo should relatively hold up well, and that's why you pay HOA fees for master liability. I really don't see myself in a single family. When I say a cottage, it's probably going to be like a mobile home on an RV lot by the beach. So I think it mitigates my risk. Now, look, can the worst case scenario happen? Global warming, 2 Cat 5 storms, totally destroy the area, and you can't even get an RV there for 5 years until they rebuild the infrastructure. Sure, it's possible, but very low probability. And if you look at life like that, you never do anything. Now, is it possible that I never do anything and I stay as a nomad? Yeah, it's possible. So I haven't figured it out yet. So while I figure it out, I make live feeds, I talk about it, and I enjoy each day as best I can. Suitcase. He's laughing. Good. Laughter's good for the soul. You look at the box picture for guidance. Yeah, that's what I do. You're still a journeyman electrician. Yeah. By certification, master electrician. Actually, I went for my master's electrical license after my journeyman certification. And that helped my career, but that helped me really pivot away from working with my hands and more working with my mind, which I enjoy more. I hated working with my hands, but I did what I need to do. So, yeah, I'm not, my strength, even though I did it, and there's times I did good, there's also times I did below average. My strength is not working with my hands. My strength is communicating, organizing, and executing. kind of like a project management, kind of like an engineer package. Um, uh, and so, like, what you learn as you get older is you have to play to your strengths. Now, when you have no option, you do whatever you got to do. And what I found is if you show up and if you have a good attitude and you don't have drama, even when you're not playing to your strengths, you're still going to do relatively well because most people are not going to show up. And if they do show up, they're going to be problems with other people because they don't get along with other people. So, but as I get older, I leverage my experience from working with my hands, from working in the field, and believe me, that the experience of working on site, building big, big industrial buildings, pharmaceutical plants, and regular houses, building them from the ground up, and being a maintenance tech, and now being an engineer, all those experiences, and even happened this week, allow me to be able to use my greatest gift, which is communication, organization, execution, but through a real practical lens, not just book smart, of actual experience. And, but that only happens through years. So, I feel grateful for that. But play to your strengths once you can. Twister's laughing. Your laughter's good for the soul. Ooh, Maritas. 3 Starbucks emojis right in the face of every jealous motherfucker. And what I tell you, I'll take a venti Americano with 2 Trenta ice waters. Good job, Mary Toss. Thumbs up to you. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up, guys, give a thumbs up to Mary Toss. 37 thumbs up, 59 people watching. Suitcase, we don't need no instructions. Well, when you start to put it together and you got all the extra parts and it's not working, you need the instructions. There's been many times that I had put something together because I went by the picture and I had extra parts or it wasn't fully stable and I had to go back and read the instructions step by step. Well, once you fail, then you go back to instructions, but we have to fail. Twisted. I ordered the book of Proverbs. Good. A few weeks ago, off your recommendation. I totally recommend it. I really am enjoying it. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, thank you for feedback. Just remember, too, that you can download the Bible, the book of Proverbs in the Bible, for free. I use YouVersion app, and even though I'm not in a season of life where I was reading a lot of spiritual, there was a season of my life I read everything spiritually you can get your hands on, mainly the Bible, but also other religious stuff, other religions, and just spirituality. But what I found in the Bible, my favorite books are number one, the book of Proverbs, because it's not really about converting people or religion. It's just about basic wisdom. Number two, I actually like the book of Ecclesiastes because it's honest about the bad parts of life. And then number 3 would be a lot of the writings of Paul the Apostle, who wrote most of the New Testament, who was once a very violent man, tortured people, and was against Christianity. And then as he had like this revelation or whatever, he had changed. And it's interesting to see someone live that life of once being persecuting something and then kind of saying this thing helped me. So that to me, that's the value of spirituality. Now again, I say all that to say, though, do I still have points in the day where I curse God? Yes, especially as I get older. So I don't know, but then I look back at the Ecclesiastes. They did the same thing. I look at Moses. He asked God to kill him on a rock. So I guess I'm in the same company of most people throughout history. So it's interesting. Thank you, Twisted. Timothy. Day 10 here. My healthy lifestyle train keeps rolling along. It's not easy, man. He goes, my blood work came back normal. Thank God for that. Most of your health problems can be diagnosed through blood work. Your blood work pretty much gives the biggest insight on your well-being. Obviously, before you get your blood work, what they're going to ask you in an emergency room is, can you breathe? If you can't breathe, you're going to the top of the list. Then they're going to ask if you have chest pains. If you have chest pains and you can't breathe, you're going to the top of the list. And then they're going to check your fever. The basic checks in life is, can you breathe? Do you have chest pains? And do you have a fever? Fever could be common cold, but they check those things. But outside of that, that's the basic layer of diagnosing someone. After that, the most specific way of diagnosing someone is doing blood work, because your blood is pretty much like the fuel to your body. Your blood delivers nutrients and oxygen to your body, and it circulates through your body. So as it circulates, it picks up the good and the bad parts of your different levels uh, of health, whatever, different metrics, right? And so when you pull the blood work, you find out so much. And he goes, my blood work came back normal. That's very positive. From the doctor today, that's hugely positive. Thank you for the positive mindset I found in your forum. Well, thank you for the sharing. Thank you for your love and support. Look, your health is your greatest thing. I mean, and how do you get healthy? Well, stop eating out, or at least mitigate it a lot, do it a lot less. Cook home more, slowly get rid of the Doritos and chips, get the smaller bags instead of the bigger ones. Wake up early, don't take naps. So at night, after my live feed, you masturbate, you take a shower, you go right to bed, so that you don't eat all night. Because I used to eat until I was stuffed, and then I'd go to sleep, and then I wake up, and then I eat again until I'm stuffed, and I go to sleep. Now again, I was at a point in my life where I was in my late 20s when I started. I just let myself go because I didn't care. So but I know, like I say, I know from my family having people struggle with weight. Once you get to a certain point, it's very hard to get back. And certain people just don't have a certain discipline. So certain people I think will struggle with weight depending on their DNA, depending on their mindset, their entire life. So, but for anyone who is listening that has any consciousness and ability to do it, try to do these things. Try to wake up early, take no naps so you're tired at night. Healthy sleep cycle regulates your metabolism, and it keeps you from eating mindlessly. Substitute eating out with cooking home more. Use less butter. Eat less chips. Use less condiments, less mayo, less ketchup. All these things have tons of sugar and stuff in them. And you can still use them. Just you're lessening, you're balancing yourself a little bit. Try to eat more greens, and when you have your greens, you don't want to soak them in, pig feed or lard. You want raw kale or very light salad dressing. I remember I was starting to eat healthy, and I took my, taking your lunch, at that time I was in the office, taking your lunch to work is another big step. Because if you don't take your lunch to work, you're going to go out to eat because you're going to have a stressful day. Or they're going to cater lunch. And goes, oh, this free lunch. That you're going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't have the free Dunkin' Donuts and don't have the free lunch. Now they're going to get upset. Some people, they're going to say, oh, you can have this free lunch. I said, F you. Not until you're focused enough that you can handle that. And so, but I remember I was starting to bring my salads to the job, and I had lost 200 pounds in front of all my coworkers over 3 years. And but this was in the beginning, so people had saw, like, as soon as I stopped eating out, I lost 50 pounds like this. Because once you stop eating out, all that sodium that's in the Chinese food spot and all these other, chicken, all the sodium and stuff comes out of your body. You drop 50 pounds if you stop eating out. And that's all I did initially for like the first 8 months. All I did was stop eating out, excuse me, I stopped eating out Monday through Friday. I was eating out every day, but I just left eating out until the weekends, and I dropped 50 pounds in 8 months. And I was starting to bring my salads to work, and so this one skinny guy, he was like, "Oh, Sam, I see you're eating healthy, you look good, you're losing weight." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "What do you got?" So I got a chicken salad, grilled chicken. I had stuff in it, but still grilled chicken. And he goes, "Oh, that looks great." And then I got the salad dressing. I put a lot of salad dressing on it. And he goes, "Sam, you just ruined that salad." I said, "What you mean?" He goes, "All that salad dressing is nothing but fat, sugar, and sodium." And of course, that was ranch salad dressing, and I didn't even like that, but it was the only thing in the company refrigerator. And what I learned is, when you have a salad, the most crucial aspect is the salad dressing. You want to probably get like light balsamic salad dressing, and you only want to put on a little bit. So hopefully that helps. Suitcase. Twisted. The best book to start reading the Bible. 100. Oh yeah, about the Proverbs. I agreed. Suitcase. Charles, what's up, man? Hey, good to see you, man. What's up, Sam? I'm doing the best I can. How are you? I've tried to plan as much as I can for risk. It's not easy, but at least you're trying. It's weird. In my life, the more I try to mitigate risk, the more I attract the other blind spot risks, not accounted for. While I empathize, number one. Well, let me finish reading your comment. Like how Job attracted his greatest fear come true, a self-fulfilling prophecy. One is, yeah, I don't have the answers to all of life, but I would say this: on average, you'll do better in life if you try to do better. If you try to manage your diet, the food you drink, you try to manage your gym schedule. You don't go more than 3 days without going in a gym. If you try to manage your budget, if you try to mitigate your risk, I'm not going to say you're guaranteed success, but I would say on average, you would tend to do better than not. So even though I totally empathize with the thought process and the reality that no matter what I do, there's always something, I still believe that the more you consciously make consistent efforts to do better and mitigate risk, the better your life will get. And once in a while, you'll get a big shoot up. But it's all because you have been consistent and you got little shoot ups. And then once in a while, you have a big shoot down. And we could be broken tomorrow. We could all have a major health thing, hit someone when we're driving to work or driving to the beach. Life is crazy like that. So, but we get through life one day at a time. If you say inspirational nomad, how do I get through it? Just one day at a time, man. And I know that's corny, but what I tell myself, I can't tell you something I don't tell myself, So I just try to say one more day, just keep getting through another day, and you're closer to the end one way or another, So, thank you, man. Twister says, thank you to Suitcase. Twister, keep it up, Timothy. I agree. Good job, Timothy. Suitcase. I found working with my hands as one of my strengths. There you go. I love starting with a blank canvas. Many people like this. Yeah. In an empty room, when I leave the room, it's alive with lights and plugs. That's true, though. Flip the breaker and nothing pops. Yeah, I know that feeling. That's a good point. There is something to be said for working with your hands and building something. And actually, to your point, if you were an electrician, to seeing the lights physically come on, right? There's a feeling of accomplishment. That's a good point. Also, I have a member, a big plan, Dan. He likes to build. He likes to do renovations. You guys know I hate renovations, but I have done renovations, so I can say that even as much as I hate working with my hands or even managing renovations, there is a value upon completion of making something better and just being productive and accomplishment. So I find that in different ways, but I definitely have known people that their strength is working with their hands, and they've actually left office jobs for going back into the field, and they've done great. And that's the good part about life, because there's many bad parts, is that, when you don't do something good, someone else does it good. But what you do good, someone else doesn't do good. When I like Florida and someone else doesn't, that means more Florida for me. Okay. If you like big chicks and other people don't, that's more big chicks for you. So never, I sometimes have to remind myself this. Don't be mad that everyone doesn't like what you like, because that just means more for you. And we all have different gifts. Yeah. Hey, D. What's up, D? How are you? Praying for you. I know you're going through this house buying process. How you doing? Hey, Sam and deckhands of the Yacht Club. Yeah. Hal says that, and I find it funny. Yeah. Shout out to Hal, man. I think Hal is transitioning. He's living now in his own apartment. I don't know. I think he's still in Brooklyn, but he got his own apartment. So now he's got a little bit more. Oh shit, Charles, $9.99 super chat with a guy flying in the air. Well, I'm trying to fly. Sometimes I get shot down, but I'm trying. Remember, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. Thank you, Charles, for that gracious tip, brother. Keep taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and the grace of God, brother, when it's a disaster. Try to stay positive. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to you, man. God bless you. And yeah, D, God bless you. Yeah, Hal's on this journey where he's building his life. Man, he's got his own apartment now. He's trying to look for work before his unemployment runs out, and I think he will. He's a positive person, very intelligent too. But he's also got health issues. He told me he was a big guy. He's like 6'6", and he was like over 300 pounds. At my height, at my worst, I was 350, and I'm just about 6 foot. So I was morbidly obese considered. But I've always been a wide. I got a wide ass, got a wide body. But I let myself go extremely. So, you know, yeah, I think Hal, he's enjoying his apartment. He's trying to take care of his health, and he's trying to find work. So, thank you, D, for coming in. We're praying for you at your house, and I hope you're healthy and you're well. Mary Toss, I am off to walk the pug. That's awesome. Have a good night, you too. Enjoy that walk with your dog, everyone. Tomorrow's Friday. Thank God. Tomorrow's a long weekend. Tomorrow's, if you're in America, it's the Memorial Day weekend. So thank God I'm not going to be in a busy area. I agree with that. Yeah, I hope everyone has some fun plans. I don't really have any crazy plans. I just want to kind of be in a chill spot by the beach and relax. And then I'll see what I do second week of June when my hotel stays over. Suitcase. Found my routine. There you go. I upload at least twice a day. Okay. My channel is growing. I love it. Laid down with 40 views. There you go. Woke up with 1,100. There you go. Good job. Yeah, be consistent. The number one thing I would tell any YouTuber is be consistent. It won't happen overnight, and it may not ever happen. But if it's a side hustle and you're consistent, and the other thing is, even though I fail at sometimes too, try to stay positive, because the more you share, the more opinions people throw at you, and the more you get frustrated, and it's not easy. Like I say, I've failed at different times too. That's a negative. The negative is you got more people commenting, more people watching, which is a positive. The negative is, everyone's got their own view, and you bring yourself up, but it's your channel, and so you can handle it how you want. You can block, you can delete, but you still got to deal with it. Suitcase, yeah, Mary Taz, and Charles, man, thank you again, Charles. Love to you, brother. Just keep pushing forward, one day at a time, Charles. Love to you, my man. Suitcase, and Tim. Oh, D, $3 thumbs up. May everyone prayer emoji for D and her house closing process, and just peace. We pray for peace with D in a very stressful time, but in an exciting time. Let us remember that we all get to a point in life where we want to find a home, whether we buy, rent, or even nomad. And so what I can tell you, D, as you go through this process, which I've been through a buying, I know it's stressful, but I also know that there's a good part about it, because it's a good thing that I was settled in an area for 15 years. It's a good thing I bought if I was going to stay there for 15 years. So love to you, D, appreciation and prayers every day as you get through this time in your life. I'm praying for you. Charles, follow-up $2.99 fist bump super chat. Charles, you know I love you, brother. You know I'm pulling for you, and I know that you'll make it. Try to stay positive. I know the world's negative, but there's also positive people. So we try to balance that thought, and when you have a bad day, just hold on for dear might. And if you're going to curse the Lord, try to do it with your windows up in the car, and then you apologize. I apologize after I get upset. Thank you, everyone. Very nice. Thank you. Suitcase says at Timothy. Yeah, awesome. I agree. Timothy. Yeah, everyone. Thanks. Yeah, I'm proud of you, Timothy. I know it's not easy. ESP. Hey, ESP. Shout out to Alaska. What's going on, ESP? How you doing? ESP says your video the other day. Oh yeah, with the base camp. You like that? The base camp airstream, the small little airstream, had me looking up the NV200. I was going to say the same thing when you left that comment. What is the tow capacity of that? Let me look it up. Then I started looking at vans pulling trailers. Yeah, you about to get caught in that algorithm. Web surfing, yeah, the rabbit hole. Yeah, that's funny. Let me look up the NV200. Good to see you, ESP. The NV200 towing capacity. NV200 is like a small cargo van, but it's not a cargo van. It's still like a small, efficient, like little SUV. It can't be much. It's probably like 2,000 pounds, like my Jeep. You ain't gonna be able. That Airstream was over 3,000 pounds. You would need like a 5,000 or 4,000 pound towing capacity. But let's just look it up. That can't be right. The NV2, 11,000? No way. 11,000? No, that can't be right. The NV200 is undoubtedly the best of lot with its unearthly towing capacity of 11,000. That can't be right. That's got to be the big one. That can't be right. ESP, is your towing capacity 11,000? That can't be right. I gotta be. Oh no, yeah, here it is. No, I'm not. Nah, that can't be right. There's no way, because that's more than like a diesel pickup. Here's another one that says it offers a max towing capacity of 1,500 with the ability to 2,000. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Maybe I'm reading in kilograms. Ah, that says 11. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't think that tows more than 2,000. I wouldn't tow more than that. Suitcase. Yeah, mental Mike Tyson. And don't forget Mike Tyson been broken. Don't forget Mike Tyson had mental meltdowns. And don't forget that Evander Holyfield beat Tyson, and so did who's the European guy? I remember we paid for that fight too. We paid for a lot of his fights. Who's the European fighter that beat Tyson? Uh, Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis. And Mike Tyson has some meltdowns, but Mike Tyson's still the man. I'm glad to see his evolution, and he's still Mike. You know what I mean? But he still got a lot of good qualities, man. Very smart guy. I love his evolution. And everyone has their pros and cons. Again, I don't, you never know someone personally, but he admits, he's got bad parts about him. But overall, he's got a lot to offer too, man. A lot of talent and a lot of insight. Very smart guy. Very entertaining, man. And he's got compassion too. He's evolved. Charles, just rewarding you for showing up, brother. Well, I appreciate it, Charles. I don't take any of it for granted. Every day I remind myself, Sam, any day, everything can stop. I try not to say that too much because, like you say, you don't want to live in this negative mindset where you always fear everything that can go wrong will. But at the same time, I never want to get too prideful or too assuming that things just go up. So, I try to balance it. D, thanks, Sam. You're the best. Well, you are too, D. You're a very positive person. And I like to see positive people. I know nothing's going to be perfect, but I at least like to see positive people get some positive stuff back. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Master P because Sabrina's about it. She's from New Orleans. Hey, Sabrina. Sabrina, you've been too kind to me for too long. Super sticker for you. Yeah, Starbucks in your face emoji. Yeah, I like that emoji. Sabrina, thank you. Like I always tell you, Sabrina, I'm not from the South, but the people in Louisiana that I met, very nice people. Well, you don't know everyone, but I would say very Southern hospitality. So, Sabrina, thank you for all your kindness. And you've been a gem. You've been with me a long time, and you just be in the background most of the time. I don't know how you do it, but I would never be mad at you, Sabrina, or anyone, if you say, I'm out of here, because I never want you to feel obligated to anyone, including me. But as long as you're here, and thank you for that gracious tip, just so you know, I appreciate you, and I hope that good things happen for you, because I know you got your own issues. But you stay positive, because you've been amazingly positive. I don't know how you do it. Love to you, Sabrina, and thank you. Thank you again, Charles. Thank you, D. ESP. The NV200 towing capacity is not much. Yeah, I don't know what I was reading. It's got to be around 2,000 pounds. I would say even not less. Suitcase. Hey, ESP. Yeah. ESP. Yeah, I wish it was 11,000. I don't. Yeah, there's no way it's 11,000. ESP, would you tow something? See, when you start to tow something, then you got to stay at campgrounds. Then you may need 1,000 trails. Then you go into this whole algorithm, But I've been thinking about that. Because I say my backup plan, if I don't want to stay in a hotel, it's not a cost-effective structure long term. And if I don't want to buy, and if I'm not really into having a landlord, I say my backup is I get a small travel trailer. Could I get the van? I get the van, but 70 grand for a built out van, I don't know if I want to swallow that, So I see myself kind of more on the hybrid electric Kia Niro and then a small cheap travel trailer. And then I just have my home everywhere. So we'll see. I like to have the options. But the Jeep is about done, y'all. I mean, I wouldn't tow anything with that. I think the engine would die, man. Yeah, I'm up to about 200,000 miles. Even though I can go more, I can feel it straining. ESP? Yeah, and it's probably true. 1,500 pounds is around my van's limit. I would agree. The ProMaster City is the next compact cargo I'm considering. Okay, yeah, that looks good. It has a higher towing capacity, but still not enough for the base camp. Yeah, no way. Because you need about 5,000 pounds tow capacity. You don't want to probably tow more than 80%. Just like my man Suitcase knows, you don't want to put more than 80% load on a breaker. So if the breaker is rated for 20 amps, you don't want to put more than 16 amps continuous load. So if the towing capacity is 5,000 pounds, you don't want to put more than 80% capacity, which is probably around 3,600, 3,800 ESP. But if I had a full size van, here we go, I wouldn't want a trailer. I can understand that. Yeah, same thing with me. If I had a Class B, no need for a trailer. That's why you get a Class B. Laughing. And anyway, I prefer my compact van. I know you do, and I respect that. I like this is a fair point. I like being able to drive away without getting out of my vehicle for safety. It's an excellent point, and you don't have to worry about campgrounds, and you got maximum freedom. And that's why I get caught in this algorithm where I end up doing nothing, because I totally get what you're saying. You're living the life, you understand it, I understand it. And so, right now I'm in a hotel just buying time, but I'm thankful. I appreciate you. So ESP, keep pushing forward. The weather for Memorial Day weekend, well, in Florida is going to be hot as hell. Up north, I think they're going to get some rain. I don't know what the weather is probably great though in Alaska right now for camping. I would think that May and June still be great camping weather in Alaska because I wouldn't think it gets even close to hot there till end of July, August, right? So enjoy the weather because when you're a nomad, that's what it's about, to enjoy the good weather, to camp in moderate conditions, and to have your freedom and to get outside and to enjoy your experiences. Now, I don't like dealing with traffic. I don't like being around too many people, and I don't like extreme weather. So 4 years have kind of burnt me on that, but I do feel a little bit recharged. But when I was on the road today a little bit, I said, man, this is why I don't know if I want to go back on the road. She goes, yeah, it is true though. Yeah, but it was fun daydreaming about potential new way to be a nomad. It's huge fun to dream and to plan, and you should. But that's all it was. Yeah, guys, girls, when I masturbate and I find me a good girl on free porn, I'm just dreaming. I'm not looking like for a girl. Yeah, so it's same thing. Yeah. D. Is ESP on the road now traveling? Yes. ESP left her Airbnb about a month ago that she stayed in the winter because of the extreme cold weather in Alaska. And now she's in her NV200 small cargo van like Nate from Element Van Life used to have. And now she's living full-time in her van in Alaska during the summer. And she may travel south to San Diego in the winter. We'll see. So ESP, yeah, hopefully if you're in the mood, ESP, I'd love to see a video. I would love to see a video update, ESP, like I think you should title it like from my Airbnb to living in my car. What is it like to get back on the road? Now that you've been back on the road for a few weeks, give your insights. Are you still just as much in love with being a nomad as you were before you spent several months in an Airbnb? Are you less excited about it? What's your long-term plans? Again, none of that's in concrete, but I would love to hear your story, and your thoughts at this time, Remember, guys, when you make a video, they don't have to be perfect, and they don't have to be fact for the future. You could just say something and say, I may do this, I may not do this, whatever. It's just you're talking out your thoughts, ESP. It's nice weather for nomading, yep. Actually a bit warm during the day. Well, you come to South Florida, you freaking melt. It's hot as it, right? And the bugs are starting to come out now because we're about to get to June. It's getting hot. All right, guys and girls, it's time for me to get in that hotel shower, turn this air conditioner all the way down to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, Okay, after I put baby powder and lotion all over my body, jump back into a comfortable hoodie, crawl under these queen size sheets, okay, watch free YouTube for a little bit, and then hit the hay with no psychopaths at the all night gas station up all night screaming. And what I could tell you is this, guys, I'm still looking for a home. But tonight, this hotel room's my home. And every night I broadcast, whether my home's an all night gas station, a campground, a truck stop, or a hotel. Because home is either where your heart is or where you're laying your head for the night. If you're in a parking lot tonight, shout out to my girl Kathy, shout out to ESP, shout out to Sukesh. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll be fine. You'll get through it. And some people are willingly do it. If you're going to be in a new house soon, like D, get excited about it. I know it's a nerve-wracking thing. Keep the renovations down and enjoy the location. If you're looking to sell your house and hit the road, get excited about that. Whatever you're looking to do in life, guys, for all of us, Earth is not our home. It's statistically fact. We are all going to pass away. And what we should just do is try to make the most of each day, try to stay as positive as possible, and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Try to be a positive person in society, help when we can, and also say no when we have to. You can balance that out. And I hope we get a little lucky along the way, the grace of God, because I know there's some things out there that are nasty. And that's my message tonight. Hopefully it helped. Yeah, D, I'm going to enjoy these sheets. Guys, I'm getting spoiled. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting a little spoiled. I'm not going to lie to you. So we'll see. Love to you, everyone. Thank you, D. Thank you, Suitcase. Thank you, ESP. All right, guys and girls. Peace.